All right, hey everyone. Here we are, we're live. I'm Jason Goode. I'm the director of Numb, which stars Jamie Bamber, Marie Avgeropoulos, Stephanie Bonfedna, and Aleks Paunovic. And I'm here with Aleks and Marie.
Hi everyone.
What's up, Periscope? First Periscope.
I've never
virgins,
periscoped.
right?
Yeah,
This is our first time. Be gentle.
So I know a lot of you will know these guys from the 100. So we have Augustus over here. Octavia Blake, of course. Marie, you just shot a film called Dead Rising.
Dead Rising Endgame, yeah.
And you were on a small film called War of the Planet of the Apes?
Yes.
I think?
Yes, that's
Small.
coming out. I'm a big ape. Coming out next summer.
Alex, you're getting typed.
But exactly. But she did Dead Rising Endgame, and I did the first Dead Rising. So we're.
And I'm doing the third.
And you're doing the third.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
Perfect.
Can't get rid of the duo. Yeah.
Cool, and we also know you from Continuum, iZombie. You're shooting Van Helsing.
Van Helsing right now, yeah.
Cool.
Yay.
Awesome.
PCB.
All right, well, we are actually at a screening of Numb here in Vancouver right now. The film is happening, and it's that part is happening. You know that part.
Is it happening now?
That's happening right now.
Oh, that's a good thing.
So
that part.
we have to.
Remember that part?
In about
I remember it was
25
cold.
minutes or so, we're going to actually go down and do a live Q&A with the audience, but we thought, let's do a Q&A with everyone out there in the interwebs and get some questions. So we called some questions that you guys have put on Twitter, so I'm going to ask a few of them here, and if we have time at the end, we'll get some live questions at the end. So
Let's do it.
all right, so I'm sorry if I haven't included everyone's question. We did our best here. So we have a question from Brave Octavia.
Oh.
I wonder who it's for.
Shade Learn. I'm sorry if I'm not getting your handles right. Andressa. A few people asked this question. Was acting what you guys always wanted to do? How did you get into it? Was it your dream? When did you-
I started playing in a metal band, and then I started boxing, and it was kind of intertwined in there. And then I stumbled upon acting when a casting director asked me to audition for something after a set that I played, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Got the role and just got the bug and was hooked.
That sounds exactly like my story.
This is awesome, really?
Yeah, we're actually friends in real life because we have a few things in common, like that story.
She's a drummer and I play bass.
And we're in the band called the Swing Lines.
Swaying loins.
That's an inside joke. It's a funny story.
Yeah.
Yes, when I dabbled in high school theater because I was bullied a lot as a kid, so it was just easier to hide in the drama room than in the cafeteria. But anyway, so that was fun, and then I also through a drumming gig got scouted by an agent and quit my waitressing job and tried that, and it worked.
And
Yay,
off you go.
yay dreams, yay drums, rock and roll.
There you go.
Never dies.
So with all the gigs you guys have done in acting, what is your favorite role so far?
Well,
There's only one right answer here.
Yeah.
Numb, obviously.
Besides Numb.
Besides Numb.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I know we're doing this right now, but Goostus was pretty badass.
Yeah, because this was cool.
Pretty
That was
badass.
a fun
It was
one.
super fun. The makeup was amazing. Jen Kipps did an amazing job with makeup, and
Your beard was
my
like out
beard
of control.
was epic.
Yeah.
And it was a really fun time. That was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, and you looked extra huge on a horse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Aleks Paunovic's like 9'7".
But they got
Yeah.
me a special horse too. It's like they couldn't give me just any horse.
Yeah.
And you were friends. You loved my horse.
Yes.
You
yeah.
love that guy.
They had to get a specially large horse to handle, because it would be bad for his back.
Yeah, I had one horse just go.
It's true. Like every time he just sat on him, he just like would release like a loud fart. Or, like, I don't know. Yeah.
True. What was yours?
I really enjoyed playing Cheryl. I thought that was a lot of fun. It was really fun handling the cold. It was great working with all of these wonderful people. I got to film in Canada. I love that. The story was amazing and it was challenging for sure. And we all got to be creative as a team, so that was a lot of fun.
And obviously Octavia.
I mean, yeah, Octavia's like riding a bike for me. Thank you, fans, for tuning in. We're going on season 4, so thank you so much.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, that's great.
So, Aleks, you've done stunts before, and I didn't realize how many of your own stunts you do, but in the filming of Numb, we had a stunt double for Marie that didn't do any work because Marie did all her own stunts, literally did all her own stunts, hanging off a cliff. What from you guys? What has been the hardest stunt in whatever show you've done in your career so far?
I did a car crash once, and it wasn't supposed to be a car crash. So I consider that the hardest stunt because it hurt. And I literally, it was one of those things where as we were going, and it was supposed to be like an aerial, just an aerial, but as we were going, I was kind of freaking out. We were hitting high speeds, and I hit the little bit of the rail where I'm supposed to. And I was freaking out, and the car's going boom, and I had this beautiful moment of about 2.5 seconds like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm all over the place. All over the place.
I think the chair might have just snapped.
The chair sounded like my horse.
The chair needs a stunt double.
And that was probably my craziest one that I did.
Right.
And I never swore I'd never do anything like that. But this one does everything.
Yeah.
And it's a liability.
Yeah, I'm a walking liability. Yeah, ask my ex-boyfriends. They'll agree. The hardest. I mean, there's only one stunt I think I won't do, and that's like lighting myself on fire or something. I think that's unnecessary.
That's smart. That's
Yeah.
smart. That's a
Yeah,
good
that's
one.
just a good
That's a
healthy
good boundary,
boundary.
yeah.
Yeah, leave that to the stunt professionals.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, Octavia, I've had such the wonderful opportunity to learn how to do a lot of things that I couldn't do growing up as a kid that were dreams for me, like riding a horse. I had to learn how to gallop a horse in like 2 days upon not even knowing how to ride one. So that was pretty hard for me. Or a lot of just my sword training, like I did like an 86 move sword fight that I had to learn in 3 hours once. That was tough.
It was pretty badass. I saw it. It was pretty badass.
Yeah, it was fun. It was worth it. Yeah, good skill to have.
There it is.
Cool.
Yeah.
That the last question there was from Brave Octavia, and the one before that was Olivia Tyler 87. Thank you for those questions. This one is Avgeropoulos Miri, who's a huge fan on Twitter. Thank you. So if you could just talk about the scheduling. So they were wondering, were you filming Numb at the same time as the 100? How does that work for you?
No, I think, didn't I leave right away after we wrapped season 2, and then we went out to Vernon?
So you had wrapped shooting 100.
Yeah.
It's a short break, and then you came right on to Numb, right?
Yes, yeah. I think we shot Numb in between season 2 and 3.
Yeah.
What's your shooting like? Do you start in the fall and you go into the spring? What's the shooting schedule?
The shooting schedule is typically 6 months long, and it goes from, I don't know, September to February-ish. Is that even 6 months? I don't know. We usually wrap in February, so it's in and around there. It's all a big, wonderful work blur.
But it was
good.
interesting because I always knew, I was a part of the project before,
Yeah.
and I always knew that I wanted Marie for this, but I didn't know how to ask her because she was doing such hard stuff on the 100,
Yeah.
and even the weather was terrible, and I'm like, I'm gonna ask her to do all this crazy stuff in the winter now.
Yeah.
And I knew exactly when to ask her, which was at the wrap party on the dance floor. We're all having a good time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, hey, I got this great movie you'd be great in. She was like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I was like, that
Yeah.
was awesome.
A glass of champagne in, and I was
We were
all over
really
it.
lucky to get her.
So I was going to ask you how you guys both came on the project. So I'll give a little bit of backstory, which was Aleks and I have worked together before. I'm a huge fan of Aleks. I think he's a great actor. So when we were developing the project, we were writing, Andre Hardin, the screenwriter, we were writing the character of Lee with Aleks in mind. And then Aleks was a big part in getting ideas of who we could cast for the other roles. So you suggested Marie because you worked with her on the 100.
Mm-hmm. It was my only suggestion. Like there was a
Yeah.
lot of people out there,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is the only one that I feel like will work as this brother sister duo. And I mean, yeah, and then working with you, I knew you from before, but then working with you, I just knew if we could get you, we'd be so lucky.
Yeah, thanks. And we have good chemistry because as friends already, and we work well together.
Yeah.
So I think that really showed on screen. We have good banter, like this.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
From Octavia Blake, what were your first thoughts when you read the script for the first time?
I mean, we were working on it 4 years in advance, and I loved it right away.
Yeah.
And then we had the beautiful opportunity to keep developing it and having input and changing different parts of the story. So for me, I mean, there's stuff that's in the movie that wasn't even close to being in that first script, and vice versa. So,
I remember when you first read it, you were like, this is deliverance.
Yeah.
I hadn't actually thought of it that
Right.
way at that point. That really shifted my thinking towards
Right.
the film as well.
And it was, for me, it was one of the first times I got to be involved in a project for that inception and all the way to where we are now. So it was awesome. And I remember when you read it, you were really excited when I wanted
Yes.
to get, especially when we had our audition scene to really kind of work it.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
good.
it was fun to read the script and feel really connected to a character right out of the gate, because that doesn't always happen as actors.
Should we tell them a secret? We're going to do a secret live here that Jason doesn't know.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
It's
you do
scaring
know.
me.
You do know.
What
You
is it?
just don't know what I'm going to say. Is that before she came into the audition,
Oh.
we worked it for like 3 hours
Like-
because I knew what you wanted, and I was like, okay, so here's what he's going to want, and then
Yeah,
she was
he came over to
nailing.
my apartment,
Yeah.
and we may or may not have practiced.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I'm somewhere between blunt and sharp. And so we had auditioned a bunch of people for the role that Marie had, and she was very kind enough to come in and read for it. Some great actresses that came in, and then you came in and read for it, which was really kind of you. And I knew you had done that.
Did you know? You just knew?
Oh, of course I knew, because she was making all the choices that I had directed.
That's so great.
Everyone
We're
else.
just professionals.
That's
and we
so
came
great.
No,
together.
but I like that. As
Yeah.
a director, that meant, oh, she really wants the role.
Right.
She's put the time in.
Yeah.
And when she's making these choices that I had hoped for, she's doing it really
That's
well.
correct.
Yeah.
And the thing about Marie was, I always thought that her character, Cheryl, was either going to be vulnerable or ferocious. And I kind of felt like, okay, in the auditioning process, I'm going to have to decide between one or the other.
Right.
And just see them how they feel against you.
Right.
And then it was like Marie walked in and she was
Both.
which
With a
kind of blew
vengeance.
my mind. You
Yeah.
could see why you would want to protect her as her brother.
Right.
But we could also see that you could be a villainous character.
Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah, it's so much fun as an actor to add layers like an orange into the characters to make them, because in my mind, I always try to make, if I'm, let's say, playing the protagonist, the antagonist, it's always important to, if you're driving the story forward by being like a villain, to still find some lovable qualities about them, just to make them human, because I always want, the audience to somehow relate to the people I'm playing
Yeah,
in some way,
absolutely.
shape, or form. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I think it was, to me, I've always seen that interesting mix of she can be this vulnerable, little flower, and then kick my ass at the same
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
and you could see that relationship
Yeah.
happening, which was great.
Well, let's shift into that. So you played Lee in Numb. Tell us a little bit about who the character is.
Well, to me, I just when we were working on it, I just felt Lee was someone that was very reactionary. He was a guy that led in a way of trying to get ahead, and in that process made a lot of bad choices in his life. And then when he came up with some blocks, some barricades, he decided to make a conscious effort to go into a world of spirituality, being led by a higher being, and maybe that's the course that he's going on. So I love the idea of his inner struggle, of who he's trying to find out who he is, who is his true authentic self. And so that journey through the film, I think, was really fun to play.
That's cool. So you played Cheryl, which is Lee's sister. Tell me a bit about Cheryl.
For me, Cheryl had a band. The interesting thing about women that act so tough, and I got this, they don't want to have this. They want people, they want help, but they're, just so over having to fight the fight themselves and get disappointed their whole life, they actually push the help away. So that's indeed what I think she was doing with the character Aleks played, Lee. And the driving force through the movie was greed to find the gold, to manipulate the other people, to use them, and it ultimately, led to their demise, which
And
it
it was
often
great,
does.
the chemistry with just that backstory that we had and we thought about, and we really tried to build a foundation, and I feel like it worked great. It was awesome.
Yep. And they were, so the BC Film and TV Awards, which are called the Leo Awards, The nominations came out last week, and these two guys were nominated for their performances in the movie. So
So
congratulations.
cool.
All right, so you've answered a few questions. Shannon sent in, Caroline, Leslie. Let's just talk about your characters for one more question from Caroline. What was the hardest part about your character, playing your character, and the most rewarding?
That's a great question.
The hardest part for me was doing the movie in heels. For
Yes,
sure.
in the snow.
In the snow. We had the
my
like
God,
makeshift
yes.
snowshoes on, and like, yeah, Jason was like tying these snowshoes on. They kept breaking. Like, I'd literally be sitting on his knee, like in the middle of
Oh
the
my
forest,
God.
and it's like he was doing it. You could tell he's like tied his kid's skates on. Like, sometimes like that's what he was doing with like tying these things on my high
Oh
heels.
my
It was
God.
ridiculous.
Between each take.
Between each take,
Yeah.
yeah. So it was
That
like
was
hard to make
funny.
the day, but also like the show must go on. So we just made it work. That was pretty
And that's the
challenging,
thing.
fun
This is
story.
this is an indie movie when you got the director tying her makeshift snowshoes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it was a good memory. It was funny.
What about you, Alex? Do anything come to mind?
It's so weird. I mean, I think the hardest thing was the stunt.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, the
we
river.
can't really
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah, there's a stunt that I do blindly, and I think that was the exhilarating and scary at the same time.
Yeah.
But that was one of the toughest ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll have to see the movie to find out what that one is.
Ah.
Yeah.
From Ingrid Avgeropoulos, sorry.
They're all big
Avgeropoulos.
versions
They're
of
all
my
kind of
last name. My
versions
last
of
name's
your
already
name.
hard enough as it is. Yeah.
What was the most surprising thing about the experience of filming Numb?
I would think a couple of days of plus 15 weather.
Yeah. So we had some unseasonably warm weather at the end that we
Yeah.
weren't expecting.
And we had, like, I've said this before, we had takes where we're shivering, we're freezing, we're doing our lines, and then Jason would yell cut, we're like, oh my God, woo, just sweating our butts off, and then going back to try to play the freezing.
But then we're like
thing
on
again.
freezing like lakes, like
Yeah.
literally pulling like, a heavy safe through chains on a frozen lake. So we
Yeah.
had we had a cocktail of weather.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question again?
That was the question. So the most surprising thing.
Oh, the surprising thing. Shooting up that movie in 18 days.
Yeah,
That was surprising to me.
that's true.
Pulled that off.
Shouldn't have been
Yeah.
done. Should not have been done.
But we did it.
Do you guys, okay, this is from Andra Heartbeat X. Andra, thank you for the question. If you could live the movie in real life, would you think you would act similarly to your characters? You're faced with the same decisions?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I would.
Okay.
I would. I'm not
Marie
gonna let
named Oscar.
that, and I'm not gonna was to take care of you.
Oh, okay. Well, see?
See?
He just says
I would
says
do
the
it
right
again.
thing. Sweet.
I would do it again.
Well, I can't even answer that. I remember in that moment. That was great.
All right, we got a couple more. Let me just ask you a couple more weather questions. So from Octavia Blake again, Adro Grande, Marie Avgeropoulos from Brazil.
Okay.
Thank you, Brazilian fans. What was the hardest part about shooting the movie? What was it like filming in snow? Had you guys done that before?
Oh, in snow.
You mentioned the heels. That was
The
really
heels
difficult.
it was just challenging. It was fun. It added to it. Cheryl wasn't supposed to be prepared, so that definitely helped.
Yeah.
For like the method actors out there. Yeah, sure.
But I think the Quincy.
Yeah.
For me, my
You
hand.
can
So a
use it
snow
enough.
fort.
Yeah, it's a snow
Yeah.
fort, and I had to try to build one with my bare hands, and we did a lot of takes, and that was like a burning cold.
Or like the makeup that's like to make our lips look and feel like they're falling off. They put this stuff on it. And you go like this, and it makes like
Cracks.
It cracks, and then you go to like eat your lunch, and you get like all these like chunks of crap like in your food. That was interesting.
right,
I
that's
think
right.
I ate like a half a bottle.
I remember we were eating in your trailer, and you were
Yeah.
eating. You're like, "This tastes terrible." I was like, "No, you just ate your lip."
yeah. It's big like prosthetic flopping thing. Yeah, it's fun. Good memories. Good times.
From Octavia Blake, how did you stay warm between takes?
Well, we stayed warm because we were always moving, right? And so when we stopped, we felt like we needed to get
Keep
back to
moving.
shooting.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was. I mean, we didn't have cast chairs around really. We
Yeah,
Did some
no.
heaters.
we did some heaters,
Couple of
yeah.
heaters, yeah.
Yeah.
Heaters to stay warm, but it was mostly we kept on moving. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because we're shooting so fast.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from Stratford Toon, Mel. Were pranks pulled on set?
I feel like this one's a bit of a prankster.
I did a little bit. But
We were moving so fast and it was so cold, it wasn't really conducive as much to pranks. would you
Right.
say?
Yeah.
but I did like bugging you a lot.
Yeah, you did
Yeah.
do that.
With you being the rookie. I had to haze the rookie.
Yeah, as one does.
So there's some moments in there. I think we had some good times.
Yes.
When I saw this question, actually, what came to
Oh,
mind?
Colin.
Colin, that's what I was going to say.
What-
Colin.
Colin's magic tricks.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that was. It wasn't really a prank, but he was.
So Colin Cunningham.
Oh my gosh,
who's
how
from
could I
Falling
forget?
Skies. He's Pope on Falling Skies. He came in and played a character called the Trapper. So
Right.
he shot with us for a day, and it was a memorable day.
And especially at the time when we were 3/4 the way through
Maybe
the film.
halfway?
Halfway.
Yeah.
And it was a
We were
great.
tired.
Yeah, we were all tired. It was a great morale boost to have a different energy come in.
Yes.
And he was doing bending spoons. He was doing card tricks. It was
Yeah.
great.
He
It was
spelled blanky. I remember.
Oh right.
Yeah, this is embarrassing. I don't know if I want to tell this story.
You don't
to the
have to,
world.
but that was funny.
Yeah.
And he's an amazing musician too. And he went up when we were
Yeah.
out one night and just played.
Next time.
Yeah. Next time.
Next time I'll tell you guys about the embarrassing story.
Ask her with Blanky.
Okay, so you know what? I had to ask Dylan this question. I'm sorry about that, 100 fans. I was like, Dylan, who's Chewie?
Oh.
So I had a couple questions from Bieber Girl, Marta, and Bucky
I would
Zoe.
have brought Chewy for this.
So was Chewie on set? How are you? How's Chewie?
Okay, well, Chewy's only 6 months old and we shot this movie before then.
Okay.
So Chewy was still like in his mommy's tummy and somewhere in Ohio, because that's where he came from.
Chewie
Chewy's
is the
great.
dog.
Chewy's the dog.
The dog.
He's not in
Chewy's
the
like
movie.
a hit. Like people draw pictures of Chewy and send them to me. Like,
When Dylan said Chewie
Yeah.
was your dog, I thought that is the best dog name I've
Yeah.
ever heard.
Right.
yeah.
Chewy.
Yeah,
Right.
he's a big guy. Chewy's 6 months and he's already 90 pounds and he's got like 80 more to go. I got the Turner and Hooch puppy. Yeah, he's the bomb. So thank you for asking.
That's great.
Yeah, it's cute.
He is cute.
Is there any, when you guys think of the film, are there any scenes in the film, without giving away the story, that you're really excited for people to see? Like, what is the thing that you want, the thing you want fans to take away from what they see, or moments or scenes?
I feel like the strongest scene is the end of the movie.
Lake scene.
The lake scene. You gotta just tune into the lake scene. I don't want to spoiler it. I'm very proud of that scene.
Yeah, it's probably.
And we shot that the very first day. We shot the last scene in the movie together first. So upon not even exploring the character, it was pretty challenging for me to just shoot the end of the movie
Yeah.
right out of the gate and hope it worked out. And I'm really proud of the work him and I did together.
And we couldn't have. When people see the movie, we couldn't have done it without each other.
No.
Because what you did couldn't have been done with a normal person, and it just informed me so much. It helped me,
Yeah.
like so much. So that the scene that we have towards the end of the movie is one of the most proudest I am of the work.
Yeah, me too. Definitely. I'll never forget it, Alex. Maybe we should make a sequel.
I'm actually just going to back it up here. There was one question I skipped over that I want to come back to. Well, what's the difference, if there is a difference for you guys, between shooting a feature film like Numb, or a different feature film, and shooting a television show?
Alex?
Well, this felt like a television show because we shot so
So
fast.
fast, yeah.
But I think what was great was that we had a through line of 19 days of telling a story that we really wanted. We had one crack at it. And so that was one of those things for me where the difference between shooting this feature and a TV show is that there's so many episodes involved, but we needed to tell this story in a way where we didn't want to look back and go, oh, I wish we would have done that.
Yeah.
With a series, you can actually get those moments back. So and I'm proud of how fast we shot it, and
Yeah.
with the product that we have. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm digging.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. That's a great answer.
It was probably similar for you, because on the 100 you shoot everything outdoors, right?
Almost everything,
Almost
yeah.
everything.
It varies, yeah.
So on this one, we did most
That's
of it
why
outdoors.
that's why it was so hard for me to like make sure I asked her at a specific
Yeah.
time.
Champagne, dance floor. Oh yeah, it's
Brilliant.
easy. She'll say it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you're so smart. So smart.
Is there anything you guys want to say to those watching or who've sent in questions? We've got people around the world watching.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm sure they're asking questions on the screen, Dylan.
There's a few.
Yeah, I bet.
So we have our producer, Dylan Jenkinson, is actually holding the camera right now.
The voice behind the camera.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love, you guys,
Oh,
going
good.
on here. A lot of
Perfect.
love. One of the things that people have asked a couple times is, what's the movie about? Like, just
Oh,
kind of a general description, like,
Yeah.
you know, what did you buy into? And then there's a couple other questions. That
Let the
I won't
director
ask.
answer what it's about.
Well, let me just quickly summarize. Thank you for asking that question. I should have done that. So Numb is about 4 people who venture out into the wilderness to find stolen gold. So there's 2 couples. There's a married couple, Don and Will, who are played by Jamie Bamber and Stephanie Von Fetten. And they're this couple who are in financial distress. And they happen upon these hitchhikers who are brother and sister, Lee and Cheryl. And all 4 of them have different specific personal reasons why a pot of gold would solve their problems. And so the 4 of them team up and go out into the wilderness to try and find what they think is probably stolen gold out in the wilderness. So,
Great.
and you can watch the trailer online.
How can they watch the movie?
Oh,
Well,
that is a question that's come up over and over again.
Yeah,
is
they wanna
when is
see
it
it.
coming to the U.S.? And so
We're hoping to announce that soon. So if you stay tuned to our Facebook page or Twitter page, we've sold a bunch of territories around the world. We're hoping to bring the film to lots of countries around the world, and we're going to announce something about the U.S. really soon.
That's great. So please watch the movie when it goes to the U.S. or online. When we finally release it online, we're really proud of it.
Is there anything else you wanted to add?
let me see here. Well, look, why don't we just say to all the fans? I see Brazil and France, and there's
Brazil,
like
France.
there's people checking in from Montreal,
Awesome.
Atlanta,
All over the
Louisiana.
world.
Wow.
Tons of
Thanks,
fans,
guys.
so-
Worldly fans.
Thank you.
Lots of love, guys.
That's great.
All right, go offline here. Oh. I think this is a little bit of a fail.